This is an underrated filler arc that I would put as the second best filler arc next to G8. Granted, I don't remember most of the other fillers, but I remember this one for some reason. We're watching it again, I didn't realize how well most of it is. It's only 3 episodes long, and Toei did some really interesting stuff with it. They have some crazy ideas that I think Oda should add some of it to the story. It takes place during the time where Luffy, Nami, Chopper, Brook, Carrot, Pedro, and Peckham's are on their way to Whole Cake to save Sanji. It's during the time where they're starving on the ship and they stumble upon a Navy base. Luffy, Nami, Chopper, and Kinda Brook sneak onto the base to steal some food. I say Kinda Brook because he's not really present in the filler, since he just stays on the submarine and we barely see him. On the island, we see the main antagonist, Grount, fighting Marines because he thinks he's stronger than everyone. He's the naive kid that thinks he's stronger than he actually is. We get info that Grount was a part of Kuzan's squad before he left the Marines, and was put under Garp's squad for a bit. Then Grount wanted to get transferred to this base because he wants to be closer to the Emperors so he can take them down. So you can see how naive this guy is. Grount has a device on his left arm that keeps his hand from going crazy, and we'll get to that later. Luffy, Nami, Chopper, and Carrot sneak into the cafeteria, where we see Grount reunited with other people from Kuzan's crew that also left to join this base. The big guy is named Bonham. It was kind of hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure he's part of the Long Arm tribe. He's actually cooler than Grount in my opinion. We'll get to that later. The other guy that's not that great is a Sanji clone but uses swords named Zappa. He's just a worse Sanji that tries to marry all the women, but gets rejected and depressed. He's meh, but the cool thing about these two is that they use the Rokishiki, the 6 powers, which I think is really cool, since we don't see it too much other than the Cypher Pole agents. Now let me tell you why I like Bonham so much. First, I like that he's a part of the Long Arm tribe, just make him a little different than just being a normal human. And second, he has the 6 powers to go with it. And third, he has this new weird breathing technique called Qigong that lets him change his body like Chopper. I don't think this was ever a thing before, but I could see Oda adding this into the story somehow. It's just a new power that doesn't really break anything in the story, and it's pretty cool. Chopper gets a kind of a cool fight against Bonham. And I should point out that the whole time the crew isn't really having difficulty fighting these guys, or the base. I like when stories give the protagonist time to flex on weaker opponents instead of just always being the underdog. One Piece has some great moments of these, and I wish more shows did this. Skipping to the finale of this filler, the crew beat Grount, Bonham, and Zappa, and make it to the shore where Brook is waiting. At the shore, the leader of the base, Vice Admiral Prody, is there waiting for the crew to get there. The interesting thing about this is that Prody says he used to have actual fights with Garp, and I quote, "When we were young, it was evenly matched against his fists," where he used his hockey-infused ammo. This is an interesting idea, I guess. On one end, this kind of breaks the story, since they should have all ammo infused with hockey. But also, how do you even make hockey-infused ammo? I don't think that's how hockey works, but I have an idea that if this could happen. Josh from the future, I'm almost done editing, but I remembered this. There are some instances of hockey-infused things, like Zoro putting hockey in his swords, but more relevant, the arrows that they shot at Luffy on Amazon Lily were hockey-infused. I assume that you could hockey-infuse objects for a short time, but not permanently infuse it with hockey. So hockey-infused ammo technically is a thing, but it's not like you can save it for later. That's what the Sea Stone ammo is for, which I would say is just as good. It would be cool to infuse objects with hockey memories. It's not a new concept, but like in other shows or movies, when a character touches an object and it goes into a flashback when they touch it, it'd be like that, but you put your hockey memory into an object, and if someone touches it, then they see the memory. Kind of like Bonnie and Egghead. Spoilers. I think I heard this as a theory from someone, but I don't remember who. Being able to infuse hockey into objects to do something. I think someone said that, but I don't remember who that was. Anyway, there was no point in telling us this stuff because he doesn't even hit Luffy with it and gets one shot. Grout is depressed because he lost to Luffy. Bonham and Zappa go without Grout to go beat Luffy. They give Bonham a cool power-up that we don't even get to see him use, which sucks. They show us him powering up and it just cuts away, and when we come back, it's just them on the ground. It's lame, but oh well. We get a Grout flashback where we see some devastating power that they gas up a lot. Kuzan finds him and he has a demon hand thing. I don't know why, but they never tell us if it's a devil fruit power or what. He just has a cool demon hand and we don't know why. There's more to the flashback, but it's just Kuzan telling him he's not ready until he gets his hand under control. And we get Grout fighting Luffy. Grout is strong, but not as strong as Luffy. And Luffy beats him. But he did hold his own against a Thor elephant gun, so he gets some credit. The crew escapes, and they immediately eat all the food so the story can pick up where it left off, with them starving on their way to Whole Cake. Grout, Bonham, and Zappa vow to get stronger, and it ends. This would never happen at this point, but I would love for this to be canon, minus the hockey infused ammo. Grout is a really cool character. I would have loved to see him show up later with his demon hand thing mastered, or at least with more training. Bonham is already cool, so seeing more of him would be good. Zappa is okay. They didn't really do much with him. The only scene he was cool in was his introduction, where he cloud walks to Nami. It's a cool scene, but after that he's pretty much just a gag character. So he has potential, but yeah. Overall, I keep randomly remembering this filler because I want to see more of these characters again. It's a shame we probably never will. Toei came up with some interesting concepts that could be explored, but I doubt we would have time with where the story's headed. As a Hail Mary, it would be really cool if when they do the next filler, they have these characters and they give them a rematch with Grout being more skilled with his demon hand thing. And my man Bonham will sadly get the Zoro treatment because memes.